Alrighty, I know I am late for this live. I know I usually do it on Mondays, and today is Wednesday, specifically New Year's Eve. Maybe that's just how it was supposed to be and supposed to happen. Whatever. I kind of surrender to things happening, and whenever these messages are supposed to come out. I don't like to plan too much ahead. And I know I've been quiet on here, but there's been a lot coming up for me. And I feel like that's because we're entering the new year. And I know technically, guys, I know this is not really the end of the year. If you know, you know, I believe it follows the rhythm and the cycles of Mother Nature. So I do believe the new year is actually in spring, but whatever. I get many people are like they might believe that as well, but they celebrate, you know, New Year's Eve and whatever. It's fine, right? But I also know that it causes a lot of reflection. So you could have been in that energy too. And I did write down that like many of you are happy. I know I'm one of them. I'm totally one of them. Where I'm happy to close this year off. Just close it off. And again, you could be feeling that way too. I know many, 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 many people have had quite a year in 2025. If you're the exception, great, lovely, clapping for you. But for a lot of us, it's been tough. And a lot of us are just happy to just let it end and then step into a new, vibrant, and fresh energy, right? New horizons, new adventures, new potentials. Like, just, I feel like for those of you that have really been planting seeds in 2025, like, I get you could have been healing, but you also could have been getting more clear on, what it is that you're calling in or what you want to do with your life or whatever your vision is, right? It feels like 2026 is going to be the beginning of that. There's going to be seeds sprouting, right? And again, I like to go back to the message that I made before about like it being this wave that it's not going to be like all at once. You know what I mean? It's not like everything's going to sprout for you January 1st, or in January. It's like everything's coming. No, savor it. Savor what's coming. It does feel like, for me, when I was tapping into this, it does feel like one thing comes in, learn to be with it, learn to savor it, learn to be grateful for it. And then, the next thing comes in and blah, 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 right? It's going to take you on a journey. So enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride. I feel like, and I know I always say this and sometimes I go over, but I don't know. I just feel like today's going to be shorter, like a shorter message. Um, I did write down because there was a bit of focus on love that you guys could be meeting again. For those of you that have been calling in someone, a certain type of relationship. And I've mentioned this quite a few times the last couple of weeks because I get a lot of you are in that energy and wanting to call something in. So it does feel like it could be this week. Maybe you're just entering the energy of it, the potentials of it. You could be feeling it. But yeah, I feel like 2026, and I know I mentioned this before, it's like it's gonna be more clear on who that person is, or you're actually meeting this person, and it's like the long-term potential. with this person in 2026 again, which, by the way, that's tomorrow. Like, it's crazy to think about. That's actually tomorrow, in less than 24 hours, especially where I am right now. It's less than 24 hours and 2026 begins. Um so it does feel like for some of you, it's like maybe you've already met this person, to be honest. Maybe you're celebrating New Year's with them. It could be different for different people, right? But yeah, there is a focus on love, relationships, something that feels fresh. If you've already been in a relationship, then maybe perhaps you're coming into like more fresh energy with this person, right? Maybe 2025 for you and your person was more about getting clear on, who you are, who they are, what you need in the relationship. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but in relationships, as within life, as within anything, we go through these deaths and rebirths. It's a natural part of the cycle. If you surrender into it, there's a new change in the relationship. And when we resist that, we actually tend to self-sabotage the relationship, because then we think, well, why isn't it the way that it used to be? Well, because it needed to go through a change. You got to surrender to the change. You got to be honest and transparent in that change, right? And if you're not, the foundation crumbles, which I know has happened for a lot of people in 2025 or even 2024, right? The last, I want to say, like 3 years has been like, especially in relationships, it's like if the foundation is not solid, if there's no alignment, it's going to crumble. A lot more people are wanting alignment in relationships, right? So again, take this however it fits and resonates, but there is a newness. There is a newness. It could be with a person that you're already with, right? New energy coming in. You guys are getting clear. You're talking more. You're communicating more. You're getting clear on, I don't know, how you want your dynamic to be, right? And if you're single, well, then it does feel like there's someone coming in for you, whether it's this week or in 2026. I did write down though, yeah, I love that feels fresh, yeah, vibrant keeps coming up. Fresh, vibrant energy, nurturing, feeling seen, heard. Yeah, and I wrote down, or fresh energy in an already established connection. I did write down also, you guys could be feeling more balanced this week from the emotional highs and lows. The last, I want to say, like 2 weeks, and I have been there with you. It hasn't been, I literally thought, I was naive to think that I've done a lot of that earlier in the year, and sure, there were little things coming up for me throughout the last couple months, but it wasn't heavy. And I was like, I think I did a chunk of my work already. I think I'm good. I don't think the last couple weeks I'm gonna like be dealing with anything. And no, 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 oh no, things were definitely coming up for me, and it was really heavy. I want to say almost very similar to the beginning of this year, and I was surprised. I was naive enough to think that nope, I'm good. So you could have literally been feeling the same thing. And it's kind of like it just hits you like everything that you still just got to release, process, get clear on, like it's, yeah. I mean, again, like I said, if the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks or the month of December just has been heavier and tough, even though you've been trying to keep it light, just know it's you processing, it's you moving out of old energy and into new energy. But it does feel like again because we are moving into the new year, and I feel like a lot of people are just releasing a lot of things today. Um, it's just a more balanced time from the emotional highs and lows from the last couple weeks, especially around the holiday season. So the energy does feel lighter and less intense, calm. And there's also just a looking forward energy, like looking forward to the new year, the intentions or goals or whatever that you have set in mind that you're like, okay, well, I know in January I'm gonna be focusing on blah 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 blah, whatever that is for you, right? And there's like that fresh, vibrant energy of like, okay, well, I'm ready. I'm ready for this to change, this to happen. How can I move forward while staying aligned, though, right? Not forcing, not pushing things into being or forcing things to happen. It's just like, how can I move through this smoothly and swiftly while still being in alignment? Because I also wrote down like honoring your nervous system, you know, again, all this healing work that you guys have done in 2025 has also been healing your nervous system. I know that's also been something for me, which is why it's been so intense, to recalibrate your nervous system from survival into just being more calm, more steady, more anchored, more grounded. That takes a lot of work, and it does take a lot of like practice in a way, right? Especially if you've lived for such a long period of time in fight or flight, and that's something that your nervous system got used to. It is hard. I can speak to that because that's literally what I was living in for a majority of my life, is in fight or flight and survival and go and never stopping and feeling bad for when I rest. And I feel like 2024 for me, and this could resonate with you guys, 2024 for me was like the prelude. Like it was like getting me prepared for 2025 where it was more intense and more of like that nervous system resetting and getting used to it, because I would constantly go back into wanting to control and wanting to be in that go 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 and action and not resting, and every time I went into that energy I had to come back into rest, into honoring my rest and being okay with that. And that was tough. If you have gone through that, you know yourself that that's not easy. It's not easy to reset your nervous system, especially if you have lived in fight or flight. It's not easy. That's what you're used to, right? So now it's like recalibrating into something else, into more balanced, more harmony, more peace, right? And I'm telling you guys, for those of you that have been doing that, that's your freaking compass. When you finally have a settled and balanced and grounded nervous system, oh, that becomes your compass into anything. Because I wrote down, use your nervous system when it comes to love, when it comes to work, when it comes to any opportunity that comes in. Check in with yourself. Does your nervous system feel safe? Does it feel like butterflies and the energy's too chaotic? It's crazy. I've actually something came in for me this week where it had to do with like a potential collaboration, and I literally felt, even though it all sounded beautiful and lovely and amazing, my nervous system went into fight or flight, and I felt it. I was like, F, I don't feel grounded. I don't feel centered in this. I don't feel safe in this. And an old version of myself would have been like, but wait, this is excitement. This is passion. This is like, I'm I'm ready to go, 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 do, do, do without like any thought, without any groundedness. And because I have been reestablishing my nervous system, rebalancing my nervous system, I felt that. I felt that like anxiety or that high or that panic energy or whatever. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, I was operating in this for so long, for so long. This is not what I want to go back to. This actually did not feel safe in the long term. When I was in that energy, it feels very unsettling. It feels very unsafe, very destabilizing, and there's a lot of stress in that energy. And I had to walk away from it and be like, no, I like when my nervous system is stable, it's grounded, it's anchored, it feels calm. I I prefer it that way. And so I want you guys to know, like, if you have been doing this in the new year, in this week, whatever comes up for you, like whatever potential opportunity, person, whatever comes in, listen to your nervous system. How is it feeling? Is it calm? Is it grounded? Does it feel safe? Because that is your compass. That is your anchor. That is literally giving you feedback into what's coming in for you, because it can look very pretty, can look very handsome, it can look very enticing. It can technically look like it matches all your check marks. Again, whether that comes to romantic relationships, friendships, collaboration, business partnership, whatever, I don't care. Whatever, comes in and looks enticing, it sounds enticing, it looks like, how is your nervous system feeling? Do you feel ungrounded? That's not safe. That is not safe. That is your body telling you in real time that that's a no. And a lot of you are learning to trust that, to use it as your compass and your anchor into what is coming into your life. And beautiful, beautiful if you're doing that, because that will never lead you astray, right? I know in the previous years, you probably never listened to that, right? It was like excited, passionate, yes, it looks enticing, it sounds enticing, but whatever, right? And then you went into that, and guess what? It didn't work out, did it? Perhaps that job ended up being draining. They gave you too much of a workload. You thought it was good, you overextended yourself. You overgave, thinking that, hey, perhaps if I do more, I'm going to get a raise. I'm going to move up on the ladder. Only to like have that not happen. Could have been the same in the relationships, right? Looked amazing, looked promising. They were saying all the right things, felt passionate, felt enticing. And then a year or two or whatever into the relationship, you're like, wait a minute. I missed all the red flags that were coming up. Don't do that anymore. Your nervous system is letting you know whatever's coming in, whether that's good for you or if it's not, and listen to that. Okay? Yeah, I don't know, I just could feel right now that that was, like, probably the most important message in this whole thing about your nervous system. So, yeah, I mean, that's all I pretty much have. Yeah, I just the next point I wrote down was nervous system check-in with opportunities to, like, just focus on that, right? I did write down obviously events and celebrations. You guys could be going out tonight, or you could be staying in and still celebrating, right? Whatever. Um, Numbers coming up 10, 11, and 2, and 10. How hilarious, because 10 is a new cycle. I believe 2026 is a 10. So it aligns. New cycle, new start. 11 is about balance. I almost want to connect that to nervous system regulation, union and intuition. 2 is about partnerships, intuition, and alignment. There's just a lot about new cycle, new starts, and just balance, feeling harmonious. And like I said, nervous system balance and harmony. Um, Animals coming up was wolf and fox. So wolf is about loyalty, commitment, soul bonds, and collaboration. Fox is about cleverness and adaptability. Together, what it felt like was be instinctive but not reckless. Nervous system. Be clever but not guarded. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. Yeah, actually, it was shorter. I usually tend to go for 40 minutes, but that's okay. I am going to end this here. I'm sending you so much love, guys. Set your intentions for 2026, whether you're celebrating, whether you're not. Again, I'm one, I'll celebrate, but then I'll probably honor the real start of the new year in April. Right? And you guys can do the same. So, yeah, anyway, like I said, I'm sending you so much love for the new year. Whether you're celebrating or you're not, let 2026 be a year of peace and growth and success for those of you, for all of you, but for those of you especially that have been healing. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you. Actually, I was thinking of doing another live in the next few days, so I might see you sooner. Alrighty.